Hey guys, Debbie Morrow here with the Real Estate Agent Referral Network and Marketing Tips Facebook group. Um, just wanted to come to you today and share one of our members, Dan O'Donnell here, has he's with Revolution Mortgage, and he has been a mortgage broker for I believe the last 3 years, right, Dan?
Correct. Yeah, a little over.
Excellent. And we were talking just a few minutes ago about a little bit of a unique program that he has, his company offers. And so, Dan, why don't you share with us um, your one closed construction loan and how that works? I think it's really cool because I know that usually with construction loans, you get the construction loan, and then when the house closes to be yours, you have to pay closing costs again. So share with us how this is different.
Yeah, absolutely. So pretty much construction loans, the way they work, you're supposed to close a mortgage twice when you build a house, brand new. You pay for the fees and closing costs for a construction loan, and then you close it for when you refi it into whatever you want it to be and pay it back 30-year conventional, VA, FHA, whatever you want to do. What we offer is called a one closed construction loan, where pretty much you don't have to pay twice for doing the same thing on one house. And essentially how that works is we go through the process just like any other construction loan. Loan application, pre-approval, is if everything lines up nicely. Interest only, especially for those construction loans, just so you're not paying interest only monthly payments, so you're not paying for $300,000 in construction costs, principal and interest, because that would be insane, and that's what we do. And a lot of companies do that anyway. But once it turns from interest only and we go to closing, the actual construction starts, we divvy up the money to the people who are building your house. And essentially the inspections go down and all that stuff. But at the very end, there is only one thing you are signing, and that is the fees and the closing, and pretty much all at once, one time, no double. When you're building a house, which it makes it 10 times easier for someone who's just not trying to buy an existing house and trying to get into the new buyer's market, or even investors too.
Yeah, and so that's a pretty substantial savings too, right? In closing costs and stuff.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I've seen some that are ranging from 10,000 to like almost 100,000. But that's what you gotta. That's what we're trying to cut out. That's why people stay away from new. A lot of borrowers stay away from new houses because of all the craziness that comes with it. And that's just one thing we're trying to take off the table, so that it's just like buying a regular house that you're going in to see, and it's been constructed years ago or something like that.
Right, right. So, Dan, one of the things that, our group is international actually. So, are you limited to where you can lend, right there in the state that you're in, or um, all 50 states? Tell us about that.
Yeah, 100%. So I am technically in Florida, Central Florida, but I can service all 50 states. I am licensed in, I believe, Florida and Georgia, but we actually have intermingling, loan officers everywhere else that can help all 50 states. Even, some foreign stuff like Canada, Mexico. I'm actually dealing with a borrower right now who we are getting close to closing for a DSCR loan. And essentially, they're a non-resident. They live in Holland right now, and they're buying investment properties in Tampa, Florida.
Cool. What's a DSCR loan?
So a DSCR loan is essentially a loan if you're buying. It's really, really good for cash flow. So if you have, like, let's say the max loan amounts for these are like $2 million. And you want to cash out of up to like 75% of the loan to value of, let's say you're like this woman's situation in Holland. She wants two investment apartments in Tampa. She lives in Holland. But she wants to put down 40%, like big chunks of change down on a house. But she also just wants to kind of get interest only back, maybe for paying like some of the stuff back because she's renting it out. It's for an investment. And as long as we can find the source of, hey, you're going to get a tenant in this time, we can actually give you a loan for interest only, or source these things with seller concessions as well. But they're really mainly for big investment properties, multiple properties all at once, and a lot of cash flow coming through as well. So that's usually it's more like a small cash up. It's a small payment for a lot of house essentially.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, so who is the perfect type of borrower for you to work with? Or maybe better yet, who is the perfect type of realtor for you to work with their clients?
Okay, good question. The perfect type of borrower would be anybody. I can literally my purpose on this planet is to pretty much get the borrower across the finish line, no matter how crazy their financial situation is. So that's why I have so many products and programs right now that, especially in the crazy market that we're in, these companies are allowing us to give to borrowers who are really who couldn't qualify a year ago. But my perfect realtor would essentially be just someone who answers the phone. As simple as that sounds, it's actually rare to see in action. Um, and I would love to have just my referral network of the realtors that I work with now, the financial advisors, the builders that I work with now. They actually answer the phone, and I love that, and that they know I do too. Sometimes I don't sleep, so I'm always good to call, past 9 o'clock at night. But anyone that answers the phone pretty much is one of my, it's definitely top 10% of realtors in my book.
Okay, okay, great. So, is there anything that I haven't asked you that you want everyone out there in our group to know?
Yeah, I mean, so pretty much I have experience for about 3 years now in writing loans. I've seen it all. I'm dealing with international borrowers, but I just wanted to, I guess, put it out there in the group, and I'm glad that you invited me to the group as well. But I just wanted to put it out there that the best way that I think anyone, when moving forward with referrals or networking or anything like that, is communication, communication, communication. And I always want to tell people that that is my number one thing. And, I make sure to communicate, whether it's email, text, I'll call you at 2 a.m. if I have to get a deal across. And a lot of people don't like that, but hey, I'll leave a voicemail. But essentially, I like to make sure to everyone out there, to make sure they know that I'm there for them, for their needs, for any kind of loan. It doesn't matter what kind of, whether it's for the borrower, it doesn't matter what kind of situation you're in. It doesn't matter what your finances look like. I can try to get you to the closing line, or the finish line, I mean, to close on your first home or your second or fifth home. And for the realtors and the builders and the financial advisors out there that want to, refer me or me or in my network, they also can vouch for me of how much I, follow through on everything I can do and possibly do, because I honestly just like to help people.
Gotcha. So, one last question I just thought of while you were telling us all about that is how long does it typically take you to close a loan? From the time you get all the information to the time you're ready to close, what does that time frame look like right now?
My fastest would be about, I'm going to say 18 days, maybe 19 days. The most average is about 25 to a month, um, especially when people make their decisions that I've been noticing in my time being a loan officer. I have noticed that people make a decision on a house, whether that be investment or your life dream home. It's usually within the first month, 45 days of when you figure out what you want to do. And then while I pre-qualify people, I also process their loans while they're hunting for homes. So if there's any roadblocks, I see it a mile away. And we can tackle it, early on instead of at the closing table where we're scrambling. But yeah, that's pretty much that.
Cool deal. All right. Well, thanks, Scott. Thank you, Dan, for hanging out with me today. Um, when this is done recording and converting, we'll post it in the group. And Dan, you can drop your contact information. So if anybody has any questions about the DSCR loan or the one close construction loan, anything like that, they can reach out to you directly. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Deb.
All right. Thank you guys. Bye bye.
Bye.